Unfortunately, bikes are quite high up on the food chain for thieves. They're really easily stolen, so the high demand for them, they're sold on eBay, various different websites. So you spend a lot of money on your bike, and what you've got to do, spend a lot of money on a decent lock. If you spend £1,000 on your bike, you know, what's 50 to 100 quid on a lock? It's nothing, really. And make sure you get a lock with a good rating, sold secure, silver or gold, preferable, and be intelligent about where you lock your bike up and how you lock it. Now what you don't want to do is lock your bike somewhere quiet, dark, secluded. You may think it's good because it keeps your bike out of sight, but also gives a thief a prime opportunity to get to work on the lock without being seen. Lock your bike in the most obvious place you can. Use racks around town, use railings right outside public buildings like this one here, even outside a police station. The more obvious the better. And we're going to have a little look at a couple of types of lock that are good for using, and we're going to look at 3 ways of locking a bike. A very bad way and 2 very good ways. There are 2 main types of lock. The U-lock, which is also known as the D-lock because it kind of resembles a D, and quite often these are available with extension cables. If the offer's there, always choose that because the lock is only a certain size and will only lock certain parts of your bike around certain sized obstacles. Now, chain locks tend to be a lot heavier, you took several kilograms here. This is a hip lock. This one's specifically designed that can be worn around the body. Does up like a belt buckle, so you don't have to worry about carrying it on your bike. In this case, the lock doesn't quite stretch the railing, so I'm going to hop the bike up here and lean it up against the wall. Now, the thing with a small U-lock like this, there's only so many ways you can use it. Unfortunately, one of the ways to see all too often is someone just locking the front wheel to the obstacle. At a glance, the bike looks locked, but as you all know, many bikes have quick releases on the front. So it's a case of you could undo the quick release and walk off with the whole rest of the bike. Okay, so you've got your U-lock and you've got your extension cable, and you've got your bike and you've got your secure railing. You get your extension cable, you run that through the front wheel and through the obstacle you're locking. You want to run it through the fork as well, make a loop on the cable. And you get your U-lock through that cable, through the frame, and to the obstacle. And already that's twice as safe. Now, one of the methods I like to use is find a railing and lift my bike over the railing to the other side and then lock it that way. If it's hard for me to lock, it's going to be even harder for the lock to be broken and for the thief to work on the bike and so forth. Here's a recap. You get your bike, get yourself a good lock, whether it's a U-lock or a chain lock, get your bike insured. There's plenty of companies that do particular deals for bikes online. You'll find your household insurance company will also do additions to that. Make sure it covers the value of your bike. If it doesn't, look around and get the best deal you can. It's well worth having. And be sensible about where you lock your bike up. You do it in a public place, like we said, do it in an obvious place. Don't do it down a secluded alleyway. And if you're locking your bike up at home, make sure it's covered, maybe in a cupboard while locked, etc. Make it hard to nick. Make sure you've got a good photo of your bike in the most current spec it is, from both sides, so should the worst happen, you've got a description to show the police. And make sure you note the frame number down. You'd be surprised how many people don't do this. Now, most frames is stamped on the underneath of the bottom bracket shell. And this particular one has got 2 numbers on it, write them both down. One last thing you can do is get hold of a data tag system. There's various different options around, but the official data tag is available from your bike shop, and it's a little microscopic tag, the size of a sort of grain of rice, goes inside your frame, and each tag has a unique ID number. Now it means if your bike is stolen, the police can scan it, find the tag, and identify who the owner is. It's not worth taking a chance not doing it. Look after your bikes.